In this video, I'm going to be playing Zoo Tycoon, starting with only 2 animals. Normally, Zoo Tycoon is about creating an exciting zoo full of various and exotic animal species. But today, it's not. And just to get that point across to you, we're going to be starting a zoo with only $0. We have to somehow monetize only 2 animals to make enough money to turn our unethical animal rights disaster into an actual, legitimate enterprise. The species I've selected for this challenge are 2 mammals. Thompson's gazelle. Of all the animal species in Zoo Tycoon, Thompson's gazelle is one of the most easily contented, completely happy, with only a bare-bones exhibit consisting of almost nothing. I think you already know where this challenge is headed, but between ticket sales and monetizing gazelle reproduction, we can create a thriving and successful enterprise. Let's get started. Welcome everybody to Zoo Tycoon. We're going to start a new game. We're going to be playing on a basic grass map. Okay, we've spawned into the zoo. So the first step is that we need to create our gazelle exhibit. And now we're just going to add in 2 gazelles, a male and a female gazelle. And with all that, we just bring ourselves down to $0 for our true start. And now we can open the zoo. Look, we've already made money. People are entering the zoo to see the 2 gazelles. Our ticket price is $22. Look at us go, earning so much money. We've already got enough people that we can afford to hire a zookeeper. Amazing. Now we can feed the gazelles. For some reason, this man is just walking away from the animals. Come back, sir. Look at those gazelles. All right, so we're stacking cash and the gazelles are being fed. Let's make these gazelles happy as can be. Currently, they are dissatisfied. As it turns out, gazelles are some of the least needy animals. We're just going to give them some savanna grass, and suddenly, look, in 1 minute, this exhibit is perfectly acceptable to these gazelles. They're getting happier already. Look, the gazelles will survive. More people keep getting off the path. Sir, come back to the light. All right, our patrons may be stupid, but as long as they have cash, that's okay. We're going to just sort of, like, fence in our patrons because, well, they're pretty dumb and they keep walking off of the path and we can't have that. It's just a void of nothing out there. So let's see if we can pen these people in. And pretty good. Now people can't get out. You have to look at the gazelle. That's your only choice. Well, this is looking pretty good. We've got 2 happy gazelles, a zookeeper, and steady admission. We are already starting to turn a profit on our zoo. So if our guests are happy, then more of them will come because they'll go tell their friends back home and bring more of them to the gazelle. Our guests are currently at level 77 happiness. No major needs, and honestly, the gazelles are looking about as happy as can be. And as long as the people just keep standing there and looking at the happy animals, they too will experience joy. Except, of course, they also have needs of their own, and we have to, or well, we could capitalize on those needs. Look, this little girl is extremely thirsty. She could also use a burger, a restroom, and maybe sit down. Now, there are a numerary of different stalls and shops we could open up, but I don't think we're going to do any of that, when by far the single most profitable, exciting, and expensive attraction is, of course, the Prairie Dog Cafe. We are going to open one of these Prairie Dog Cafes right about here, just in an extremely confrontational way. Look, there goes a girl into the Prairie Dog Cafe right now, buying another $20 worth of goods. Oh my goodness, the Prairie Dog Cafe is already making so much money. People are loving it in there. Now, this is going to start to solve the needs of many of our guests. The thirst, the hunger, the constipation, and the lack of energy. We've trapped them with the Prairie Dog Cafe. Next, we need to lure in more guests by making everyone happier. I mean, these guests are overall pretty happy, but they also have one other need. If you watched my other video on this swing set is required. As long as the guests are standing near the swing set, they'll be happier. Look, everyone is pretty happy, but it could be better, obviously, as you can see. Watch as the next few months go by and people get even happier and it gets more crowded. All right, some time has passed and this is amazing. We've attracted in twice as many guests and counting, now 81 and rising. People are loving the gazelle. It's making them even happier, and the Prairie Dog Cafe is almost constantly in service. Look at it go. We've now raised a grand total of over $4,000. Amazing. I think it's time to make everyone, including our gazelles, even happier. That's right, more gazelles. There's just not enough. We started with only 2 and $0, but naturally, what is the next logical step? We're going to get rid of everything and we're going to make way for these gazelles. Let's get rid of the fences. And wow, can you even believe it? Look how happy we're about to make these gazelles. Oh no, we have locked everyone into the exhibit. Let's just undo that for a moment and we'll just rebuild our path over to the esteemed Prairie Dog Cafe, of course. And amazing, I think we can release the gazelles into the merged exhibit. Look at me go. Now we need to make the gazelles happy again because they don't like it here. We need a lot more stuff to make these gazelles happy. Specifically, just a lot more savanna grass. There we go, amazing. Look, gazelles as happy as can be. Now they need rocks. Here we go. Be happier, gazelles. And oh my gosh, look, we are giving the gazelles fresh water. They didn't like that, never mind. We're also going to give the gazelles a shelter for coitus. That way they can get it on and make more gazelles. We've been awarded the blue ribbon for quality animal care. These gazelles are as glad as can be. Look, 100% happiness. The only thing that would make them happier would be more animals. So it's time for these gazelles to get it on. While we await gazelle reproduction, we are going to optimize our zoo. Let's surround it with swing sets so that people can be even happier. That, and we're also going to build yet even more of everyone's favorite restaurant. It's the Prairie Dog Cafe. We're just going to surround the entire exhibit with Prairie Dog Cafes so that wherever you go, you'll be greeted by a fiesta. Look, guests seem to be very happy with the zoo. Guest happiness has risen all the way up to 91. Some people have just wandered off into oblivion over here, so we're just going to bring them back. They're not very happy. They're pretty hungry, actually, so we need yet more fences. You know what? Screw it. I'm building a moat so that no one can escape. No leaving the fenced area. Our zoo has been given the blue ribbon for highest customer satisfaction. $25,000. Actually, very exciting. We're rich. Our guests are so happy, and this is going to allow us to expand our gazelle exhibit, you guessed it, even more. We have just taken the gazelle exhibit and made it even larger to make them even happier. Wow, with the expansion of the exhibit, we have now just attracted over 200 guests, raising our profits immensely. Well, folks, I regret to say it, but, you know, we have achieved such amazing results. Over 300 guests, nearly 400. And yet, our gazelles still won't reproduce. They would like more animals of the same type, and they're feeling crowded by too many guests. So despite the fact that these gazelles have made us fabulously wealthy, they still, for some reason, refuse to reproduce. Honestly, unacceptable, but we can make up for this. We're going to do something that no one expected, but it's the only thing that really makes sense now. That's right, we're going to create exactly the same thing over here, except this time the gazelles will want to reproduce. Look how much happier they are over here. These gazelles are just about as happy as can be. And now we wait. Wow. We've just unlocked Most Popular Zoo Award. 500 guests. Look, the first baby gazelle has been born. Now, over here, with few guests prying eyeballs, these gazelles are able to reproduce in peace. Which is pretty important because when you consider it, gazelles can be sold for $398. And honestly, this zoo, it makes pretty good money, but selling gazelles would be even better. So I'll tell you what, here's what we're gonna start doing. Marine animals are very reproductive. So we're going to start right over here. An enormous tank that we're going to dedicate to, yes, that's right, the bluefin tuna, the majestic bluefin tuna. Look how happy these tuna are. Ridiculously happy. We've been given the gold plaque in excellence in exhibit design worth $15,000. Bluefin Tuna 5 has given birth. The bluefin tuna are so happy that they want to make even more bluefin tuna. Look, there goes the smallest of the bluefin tuna. Bluefin Tuna 8, welcome to the world. Our gazelles have also been highly reproductive. But now that we've let the guests over there, now the gazelles over here are feeling crowded. I think you know just as well as me what that means. We're not actually going to expand our exhibits. We're just going to create more of exactly the same boring exhibit with all the same animals, which are also highly fertile. We're just going to repeat exactly the same exhibit over and over again until the animals will reproduce again. Most people go to the zoo to see exotic animals. No, we're just sort of a farm. We have created an extremely profitable zoo where not only do we earn based on income from admissions, but also now the fertility of our animals allows us to sell them on the black market. That's right, we've got so many tuna that they can't even find any food, so we're going to take the hungry ones and we're just going to sell them because they really aren't doing very well, but that is going to create some extra income from the zoo. Look, this gazelle is hungry. That means it's time to, well, just sell it. I don't care if it makes the others unhappy. They'll produce more gazelles. Well, now that we have all of this dough, we can just start financing our research for rare and exotic animals, because we're going to buy an animal that is so rare and expensive that we won't even need guests anymore. We're just going to sell animals for money. We're just going to create an extremely dangerous looking fence over here because we're going to be adopting a herd of dinosaurs. Okay, there we go. Exhibit 5, welcome. Here we go. You thought we were creating a zoo, and now it's turned into Jurassic Park. Of all the animals available to us, the Stegosaurus. Yes, that's right. The Stegosaurus is probably one of the most rare and expensive. So we're just going to adopt 2 Stegosauri. And naturally, we're going to need a scientist to take care of them. Now we wait for the baby Stegosauruses to be born, as well as, don't forget, also very expensive and rare. We're going to be adopting a bunch of giant squid. The giant squid are very, very expensive at $6,000 a piece. We're going to need another one. We can hardly afford these things. They're just so rare and strange. And they don't like it here very much at all. They need quite a lot more to be happy. These squid are now happy. They're $6,000 squids. They're very expensive. And nobody likes to see a sad squid. With the addition of the squids, we have now maxed out our guest count at 1,000. It's time to, that's right, raise our admissions price because there's just simply too many people here that we need to bring down the demand. We're going to make the zoo prohibitively expensive to enter. And wow, people just keep entering the zoo. This is great for zoo profit. Now this means we'll be able to get even more exotic animals. We can even research the likes of Tyrannosaurus Rex enrichment. Well, folks, our zoo has come a very long way. It's currently June of year 4, and, well, the money situation has sort of come to a standstill. We earn a little bit of money, more than we burn, although managing this many animals has simply become a nightmare. Look at how much crap the tuna create. It's disgusting. And despite the fact that we have a large staff, the exhibits are simply too large for them to maintain all at once. Naturally, this has made it an extremely expensive endeavor to manage our zoo/farm. That being said, we have, in fact, maxed out the number of guests. We are currently sitting at 1,000 guests, and despite the fact that we have so much extra area to build on, this is already as good as it can get. I had to get rid of the Stegosauruses, because they were just simply too expensive. Now, I would like to do more breeding, except that all of the animals keep getting very picky. See, this bluefin tuna 7 is pretty upset because it hasn't eaten in a while. Look, there's food right there. Although if they don't eat, that does affect their sale quality, which is, well, not that good because that's where we make the money in the first place. Tuna aren't really all that exciting. They don't sell show tickets. They just sort of swim around and reproduce. It's a vegetable-like existence. Even our giant squid here are looking a little bit sad. Here's giant squid 4 and giant squid 2. I do believe we have another giant squid. I may have sold one. Even these giant squid, what is the sale value? Look, we paid $6,000. That was a perfectly good squid, and now it's worth only about half its value. The depreciation rate on squids is unacceptable. You know, on the one hand, Zoo Tycoon should be about breeding and selling animals, but I'm afraid that's not what Zoo Tycoon is actually about at all. Why, after all, put so many dangerous animals in a game and create all of these incredible animations for any other reason than look at the animations on the lion attack? Okay, well, you can't just have it near the exit. Well, I mean, the zoo was becoming pretty unprofitable anyway. Speaking of which, these zookeepers have got to go. They're about to undo all of this. I mean, we have insurance. It'll be fine. Let's just get rid of all of them. We clearly don't need the Stegosaurus exhibit anymore. My God, look at the polar bear go. He's just terrorizing that man. Oh my goodness. Oh, the man is totally fine. Never mind. All right, now who wins the fight? Polar bear or crocodile? My money's on the bear, but you never know. I mean, the crocodiles are soulless killers. The crocodile isn't even hurting anyone. It's just running around. Look, this black bear, totally peaceful. It's just the polar bear that's causing issues. Well, no one's getting out today. The mountain lions seem to be guarding the entrance as well. Don't worry, that man is totally fine. He just got a bruise, of course. Oh, there goes everyone for the exit. Well, at least the animals are happy. Oh, wait a minute, they're not. Never mind. Most of the animals are unhappy. Oh, we gotta get rid of all these restaurants. These are too expensive to maintain now. But look at the money we're making back in refunds, man. Just get rid of the rest of it. There's no reason to try to sustain it all anymore. Release the bluefin tuna from their misery. They don't need to bear witness to all of this. Don't worry, we'll come back from this. All right, well, we're going back to square one. We didn't even need the zoo, as it turns out. Most of that was just a big waste of money. Go home. That's good. Look, most of them appear to be headed in the right direction. They're making a conga line for the exit. Saltwater Crocodile 2 is not happy. Well, we just released him. He should be happy. At least he's peaceful. I mean, he may not walk around like it, but... Oh no, the National Organization of Zoos has received numerous complaints. That's fine, we don't need any animals in this zoo. We still have our gazelle, right? Oh no. You know, that is a real shame. But, you know, it's okay. We aren't even gonna need most of this. Let's just get rid of everything. I have another idea. And look how much money we have. Now we just need to hire a zookeeper to catch all of the animals. Hang on a moment. I'm just going to put a zookeeper there. Go, zookeeper. Tranquilize those animals. Good. Get that crocodile. All right. I just need a couple more minutes for all this to get cleaned up. It's gotten just a little bit out of hand. Okay. I think that's just about all of them. Only this one last remaining polar bear left to subdue. And good. That does it. It's tranquilized. Okay. Now all of the animals are in boxes. We can just sell them before they become very unhappy and their sale value decreases. Okay, I just about think that does it. We are back at square one. And remember what we had before? Well, I hate to break it to you, but we can't adopt animals anymore. But you know what? That's totally okay, because as it turns out, having animals at a zoo was overrated. You don't really need that many. Yeah, people don't really like to see that many animals. Since we can't actually adopt any new animals anymore, we're just going to put this polar bear into a single exhibit, and it's kind of like jail, except people love to see it. They love to see. Here you go. Happy polar bear. Everybody's happy in the end. And would you look at that? Our polar bear is finally starting to get, well, happy again. The exhibit is well suited. And you know what? We finally are getting guests again. And they're very happy. Wow, after thorough inspection, the National Organization of Zoos is happy with us again. We can now adopt animals. We can give our polar bear its very own lady friend. Wow. Finally, happy polar bears. Well, it just goes to show you don't really need a lot to make a successful zoo. You know, I think ultimately, though, I found that the 1 to 2 animal zoo was just more effective at making money, like the last time. And the animals in this game... Ooh, look, there comes the Microsoft logo with Blue Fang. The animals are pretty unprofitable just because the zookeepers are seriously expensive. But, you know, I still would like to make an animal farm. There's got to be some way to do it somehow, some animal that breaks even. These animals, they're very like celibate animals, so I just wanted to bring out the animal spirits. Anyway, I had a great time, and I hope you did too. It's been fun playing Zoo Tycoon with you. As always, I'm Ambiguous Amphibian. A big thanks to my patrons who are just about as happy as can be. Until next time.